Welcome to the Dogish podcast, the podcast dedicated to dog parents and the topics, events, and personalities impacting their lives. My name is Sylvia West, also known as Dog Up in This Bitch, and I am here with my co-host, Jasen Arias, who's the founder of Forever USA, a dog photography experience. Jasen, how are you today?
I am good. How are you today?
Stoked
You were a
to
little
talk
you were a
to.
little bit of a busybody earlier today, correct?
I was very busy. I am what we call in the business a boss bitch. Hashtag boss bitch. And I run a business. Anyways, dog training business. I'm very excited for today's guest. This is quite literally the woman who brought us.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool connection and
Yes.
find out how Sylvie and I met through keys falling in poop. That's basically what it comes
This
down.
is the reality. Like the inception of the Dogish podcast is keys falling in poop.
That's right.
You will know more about this if you stay tuned and listen. Also, if you haven't yet, listen to the first episode so you can hear the story of Jasen and I, and then all of this will all make sense. But we're so excited to talk to Jessica Knight today of Dog Owners Outdoor Gear and Outback Tails. So let's get into it.
Well, welcome to the Dogish podcast.
Welcome.
All the way from the other side of the planet from us right now. I love that.
This is true. A lovely summery Sydney morning, actually.
Yeah, it's literally winter here. That's why we are in our sweatshirts.
Yeah, I mean the LA winter's never that bad. A bit like the Sydney winter, right? It's
no.
Well, we
no
just had
snow
1
or
foot of
anything
snow,
crazy.
so we have 1 foot of snow that's melting off. So it's pretty snowy here still.
that's amazing to me. That's just exciting.
We like it.
Yeah.
Sylvie doesn't like it, but we like it.
I don't. I'm a Southern California girl. Snow is not my thing.
Yeah, we've got to drive for like 8 hours to see snow here. So you guys get the best of both worlds, because in California it's just like an hour and a half to the snowfields, isn't it? Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep. So, welcome. We're so happy to have you today to talk about your company, which ironically is the company that brought Jasen and I
It is
together. Like full circle.
Does Jessica know that? Does she know about that whole connection?
Do you know about that, Jessica?
Yeah, I mean, I know. I remember, the whole event that you met at, right?
Yeah.
And
The Rescued Heroes Road Tour, right?
yeah, and you had a little DOOG stand there, and you were selling our stuff and helping get the word out for us over there in LA. And I think that's where you guys met, right?
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, DOOG actually sponsored their road tour. And we met up at the photo shoot here in Los Angeles. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I
very
guess
much.
technically the Dogish podcast exists because of you and your lovely company.
That's true. Look at that.
I love those connections. I love that stuff.
Yeah. So with that, tell us how DOOG came about, which is Dog Owners Outdoor Gear for our listeners who don't know, but talk to us about how it all began.
Yeah, it's quite a funny story, actually. It wasn't something we planned on ever doing, starting a dog accessories company. It just kind of happened. One day we were walking our baby in the pram, and we went to the park, and we had our dog Molly with us at the time. And I think we'd had quite a sleepless night with baby, and we're having a lovely walk. And then Molly decided to do a poo right in the middle of the footpath.
Perfect.
People were walking past, and which happens on your dog walk, it's fine. Jamie went to pick it up and then realized that the poop bag was right at the bottom of his jeans pocket, and he had to pull out all his keys and all this stuff to try and find it. And as he did, his keys fell out into the poop. And then his sunglasses fell off his head right next to the poop, and then he got himself in such a state that he let go of the pram and it started rolling away. And the whole thing was just a catastrophe. It was just a dog poop catastrophe. And
so there's hold on. So just to paint a picture, Jamie, by the way, is Jessica's lovely husband has just dropped his keys into the poop, his sunglasses near the poop, and the baby is now rolling away down the path.
lucky I was
Molly.
Molly. I was there to catch the pram, but we were kind of laughing about it on the way home. I think the actual bag that he managed to find at the bottom of his pocket had a hole in it too. Like it was just one of those.
Didn't he end up sticking his hand in the poo because of the hole in the bag?
Yeah, it was just one of those really horrible experiences. We've all had them.
Yes.
And as we were walking home, we were just talking about, how that situation could have been avoided. And Jamie, being quite creative, working in the advertising industry at the time, and I was a TV producer, we started brainstorming this like really cool utility belt. I think Jamie called it a Batman belt for dog walkers. He's like, someone should invent a Batman belt for dog walkers. And he's like, you could have all your stuff in it that you need and you could just wear it around your hips and then you don't have to have everything in your pocket. And it would have poop bags that like pulled out really easily, and you could have a place to put your sunglasses and a little pocket for your money and your keys. And I was like, you should do that. That's a great idea. We should do that. And it was just one of those ideas we talked about. We brainstormed a lot of business ideas. I think we were both quite fed up in our creative industries, and we were kind of looking for something new. And we're quite entrepreneurial. So anyway, we decided to actually follow through on this one and went to a friend of ours who was a product designer and got him to just do a little sketch of how we thought the belt could look, which he did. And then I took it to my friend who worked in fashion and I said, do you think you could actually make this look pretty and cool and something that we could wear to walk our dogs? And she's like, yeah, let's try and we'll make something really cool. And she went to the local material shop and she bought some pattern material and she whipped up this really cool dog walking belt. So a couple of weeks later, I wore it to the park and everyone was just coming up to me saying, that is the coolest belt. Is that for your dog walking? I'm like, yeah, we just kind of designed it. I'm just testing it out. And they're like, well, where can I get one? And I was like, well, we haven't really made any yet. We're just testing this prototype to see if it's something that, people would be interested in using and just testing it ourselves. And anyway, more and more people asked me every time I was wearing it where they could get one. And so we thought, hey, maybe there's something in this, maybe we should make more than one and see if we can start selling them into some shops. So we put our first order in with a supplier. I think we made like 100 in 4 different colors. And I took it down to our local pet shop and they were like, yeah, we'll take 20. And we were so excited. We were like, our first sale, yes. We knew nothing, by the way, about, pet products, designing pet products. We'd never had, work in sales. We were kind of in creative industries, but we thought, let's just have a go at this and do this side hustle and see if we can sell these belts. So we started a little website. We sold it into maybe 5 or 6 retailers. And then there was a trade show coming up and my friend offered us a little booth, and it's this huge gift show called the Reed Gift Fair here in Sydney. It's the biggest gift fair in Australia. And so we had this tiny little table with our 4 belts hanging on a stand with a poster on the back wall of our friend wearing the belt. And we're in amongst these huge candle companies and import handbag companies, and everyone spent like 50 grand on their stand, and we've just got these 4 little belts hanging on these. I was actually mortified. I just thought, we shouldn't be here. It's just, we're not ready for this. And so the day of the fair opened and we were both really nervous, and the next thing we just had this queue of people outside our little table just waiting to hear how this belt worked. And then someone came up and ordered like $1,000 worth of these belts from this beautiful gift shop in WA. And then another person came along and another person. We were like, by the end of the day, we'd just written like 50 orders, and it was just probably one of the most exciting days of our lives. I think we were just, wow, we've actually got a business. We did
it.
We did it.
And at this point in the story, they're all poop bags, right? Like the belt.
It's just their belts.
It's a dog walking belt. Yeah. So it's a dog walking utility belt, but we kind of made them up in really cute colors, and they were fashionable.
Very fancy. These are the ones Jason, these are the ones I was telling you, and if you listen to the first episode, that I would actually import from Australia before they were available here in the US. But now you guys have a whole line. I want to talk about all the amazing stuff you do right after we get back from this quick break.
Okay, so Jessica just got done walking us through really how this started with keys and poop in falling out of people's pocket, which love that. But
a true dog mom tale.
But where has this grown to now? Like, it started out as a belt, but you guys have all sorts of stuff now, don't you?
Yeah, so it started as a belt. We have always been active dog owners. So like we exercise every morning. That's our kind of daily thing that we do to stay fit with our dogs. So we run and we walk and we hike with them.
So is that where the name came from? Sorry to jump in.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
how early on did you have that name? Yeah.
Yeah, right from the start. So we're the dog owners and we wanted some outdoor gear that we use.
Okay, love
it. People have got their stuff to go to the gym. People have got their yoga mats. We were like, well, no one's done anything for dog owners who want to exercise with their dogs. So that will be, the fundamental idea behind the whole brand, is that we're going to create that outdoor gear for people that, exercise to make their lives easier. And make them want to get out and walk their dog more often and for longer, I suppose.
So how many products do you think you guys have now?
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was 13 years ago. So the brand's grown quite a bit since then. We're in about probably 5,000 retailers around the world now, and we've got hundreds of SKUs. We're still doing the dog walking belts and they're still really popular, but we then expanded out to do dog walking bags. We've done running belts, hiking gear, portable water bowls, and, our best-selling product in Australia now is our waterproof collars and leashes, which are made from wetsuit material. So they are hugely popular and starting to sell really, really well for us in the US as well.
Well, that's cool. And
yeah.
So so you're in Australia, but how long have you been here in the States?
So the brand's been available for people to buy in the States for about the last 5 years properly. So we are in a heap of retailers. Last year was actually a great year for DOOG in the US. I think just with everyone, being able to walk their dog as their form of exercise and being able to get out of the house during COVID, our business actually just really boomed over the last 12 months. So we're really grateful for that. I think also a lot of people bought dogs. So last year was probably the best year that we've had for DOOG in the US, and we've taken on probably an extra 1,000 more retailers just in the last 12 months in the US.
Wow,
so
congratulations!
We're really excited about our growth there, and just looking forward to getting the brand out there and making more US dog owners aware of it.
Well, I think my favorite thing about DOOG, and one of the reasons why you and I connected so long ago, was I just love that you and Jamie are literally just a dog mom and a dog dad who saw the need to have a better experience with their dogs and sought out to create that for people all over the world. And so even though it's like you created, you like just a simple product, just as a dog walking bag, I think that the value that you've brought in terms of how people can interact with their animals more simply, I think is just amazing. I absolutely love it. And I adore you guys for it. One of my favorite products is the collars and the leads personally, and the harnesses. My dogs are DOOG dogs. I think I think last time your pug popped up, Jason, he was wearing his DOOG collar.
Yep.
So Jason's got a couple of DOOG dogs. So what would you say is of the entire DOOG line? Because I mean, there's fetch toys, pop-up pools, which I really love. You were expanding into life vests for a minute. Like, what's your favorite DOOG product if you picked one?
Oh gosh, my favorite DOOG product. Well, I don't know if you remember the Stick Family toys, but
I have one on my couch.
Yeah, great. I'd say they're probably one of my favorite products just because it was one of those ideas that popped into my head that had just taken off. And I really never expected them to be as popular as they were that day. I took my dog to the vet. He got a stick stuck in, lodged in the back of his mouth. He was obsessed with sticks and would only fetch sticks at the park. But the vet told me that sticks are actually really dangerous, and he gets, 5 or 6 stick injuries a day in at his vets from dogs.
Day.
Yeah, like chipping their teeth or tearing the back of the palate of their mouth. And so I just came up with this idea literally one day when I was out walking with Wilbur, and he was trying to pick up every stick we walked past. I'm like, no, you can't touch that. And I was like, what if I made some safe sticks? And then, I think, what if I added faces and made them into like stick people? And then they could be a family of sticks. And the idea just kept getting bigger and bigger in my head. I'm like, but how do I do this? We'd never done toys before. We'd only made sewn goods. So again, just called on my creative friends and just said, look, I've got this idea in my head. Can you make me a family of sticks? Because I want to send them off to this supplier to see if he can make a prototype for me. So that was how the stick family was born. I suppose, I don't know, it excites me to think how popular they've become since that little idea. And we actually managed to get them into Walmart a few years ago, which was very, pretty monumental moment in our business.
They went into Petco too. I remember seeing them in Petco.
That's cool.
That's right.
Halloween. If no one is familiar with these sticks, please get familiar with them. There are multiple sticks available. I have the Hulk stick in my house, and he's green and he has hair and he's fabulous. There's a whole family of them. There's like an uncle and a mom and a little girl stick with pigtails. The Christmas ones I love, like the frost guy. He's like blue and he's like this frost monster. They're absolutely amazing. They're so fun. The dogs love them. And they're safe, which I enjoy. I did not know 5 injuries a day. That's a crazy number.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And they're made from recycled rubber tires. So they're not for chewing. They're literally just to fetch. They float in water. We're down at the beach with our dogs every day and fetching their stick toys. So they had to be able to float too. So they're great for fetching in water and on land. And that's
so you've walked us through kind of like the inspiration behind 2 different products, but like, what does development look like? Because I mean, the development of when you had your belt idea and where that all came from, it was kind of like, well, we'll sew some stuff together, and it kind of went organically. But now that it's more of a company and you're having to still stay on top of like different ideas. Like for me, I'm having flashbacks to the movie Big, where all of a sudden like there was an adult kid, that was like, hey, we should just make this now and change this. And that's always seemed like so much fun. And so say like that's what I'm hearing, even almost with dog toys and dog accessories, where like, how do you decide what you should add or what would be fun to add, and balancing between the two?
Yeah, I mean, Jamie and I still design all of the products that we launch. So
I love that.
I think just being dog owners ourselves, all of our ideas come from something that we don't have ourselves that we want to make so that we can use them. So, and that hasn't changed. We're always expanding on the products that already sell well. So the walkie bags, the belts, the mini belts, we just launched a whole new range of colors and designs because they're still, top selling products. The toys, we've just launched a range that are made in the USA. They're really, really durable. So for the dogs that wanted a more durable toy that they could chew, we've kind of gone and made some of those products in the US, and we launched them probably last September, and they're doing really, really well for us. So there's frisbees, balls, and balls on a rope. They're called the Fetchables. And
I'm literally staring at a fetchable ball.
Oh, right.
My house is just littered in DOOG products.
Sylvia's a living advertisement.
I love their products, Jason, and there's a reason they were
I know you
designed
do.
by dog
Yeah,
parents for dog parents.
Yeah.
So every
We don't
single one I pick up, I'm like, this makes sense to me because someone who owns a dog made it for me, basically.
Yeah, well, that's it. We don't ever sit down and kind of try. The ideas don't really come to us when we're trying to think of something that we need to make. They just come to us. The ideas come organically. You know, we've got a little creative notebook we jot down ideas in. And then we have meetings like every 6 months, and we all sit around in the office and we brainstorm with our team from the US as well. And we're like, you know, everyone's welcome to bring their ideas to the table. And yeah, it's still the same process it was 13 years ago. It hasn't really changed from that.
That's neat. And then do you just find certain manufacturers, or do you guys always like have a collection of manufacturers that go through and do you do a prototype and then testing and like?
Yeah, so the products, especially the toys, look, to be honest, all the products are tested on our dogs, on our family's dogs, on all of our friends' dogs, on Sylvia's dogs, on as many dogs as we can find.
All the
We
dogs.
test the products for 6 months before we launch them. And on all dogs of all shapes and sizes, obviously, as well. And yeah, the process of manufacturing, we've got great manufacturers who we've been working with since the start. We feel really lucky about that. Manufacturing our products in the US is a whole new thing for us, but something that we really want to do more of. So that's been exciting. And we met those guys at a trade show, and they just walked up to us, Dan, and said, hey, you know, we think your products are great, but we make this new material. It's really durable. Dogs can't chew it. And with that little kind of chat in my mind, I went away and thought, well, this is when I can design those frisbees and balls on rope that I've always wanted to do. But I just wanted them to be super tough. So that's what we did, and that's where the Fetchables came from. And yeah, we've got a few more ideas in the pipeline coming in 2021, which I'm excited about.
That's always
Very
exciting.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite parts of your business. So we'll be right back with that.
Sounds good.
Okay, Jessica. So we've just gone into Dog Owners Outdoor Gear, which is an amazing brand that you and your husband created by dog owners for dog owners. There's another brand, though, that you've been developing that's like a heart project of yours that I am super passionate about and absolutely love. And this is your Outback Tails brand. So can you just tell us a little bit about Outback Tails and kind of what's going on with that exciting line?
Yes, absolutely. Well, this was, as you mentioned, a passion project of mine that I started a few years ago. I've always been really passionate about Indigenous Australian culture, and I absolutely love Aboriginal art. And so again, just an idea popped into my head one day, and I thought, I think I was looking at a dog bed on my floor. I was like, oh, make that really pretty. I think it was underneath one of the paintings that I had. I was like, gosh, that dog bed would look so great in the same print that's on my wall. And again, just a little idea popped into my head. I looked up the artist and where she came from, and I contacted her manager at an art centre, which is literally in the middle of the most remote part of the central desert of Australia, and asked if she would be interested in working with me on a series of dog accessories printed with her artwork. In return for, you know, royalty of 10% of all the sales that I get. And she sent me back a picture of the artist just surrounded by all of her dogs while she was painting.
Really
oh my gosh.
Like Pauline, her name's Pauline Napangadi Gallagher, and she's a very prolific Australian Indigenous artist over here. Her paintings sell for a lot of money, and she's yeah, so that's how that all started. Pauline was, you know, really excited to work with me, so we designed a range of dog beds, bowls, and beautiful leather collars and leashes that have all been printed with her artwork. So that is how Outback Tails started.
And then Outback Tails is it's a give back, right? So like a portion of the proceeds is also going to like give back to these Indigenous communities. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And every product tells the story of the artist and their background, their culture, where the painting came from, the Dreamtime story behind each painting. And then the portion of sales goes back to the community. And also the rescue dog community, the Rescue Dog Association that is within that community too. So they have a lot of dogs that obviously, because they're in an isolated area, they don't get vet treatment. They don't get de-sexed very often.
Mhm.
So they use those proceeds to also fly in vets from Alice Springs and Darwin to go in and neuter the dogs in the Aboriginal communities, but also treat them for fleas and ticks and that sort of thing too. So a lot of the proceeds go towards the Aussie Desert Dog Foundation, which is up in where the artists live in Yuendamu.
That's amazing. And this is a separate brand entirely, right? So like a different website and all.
Yeah.
And what is that? What's that website?
It's outbacktales.com.
Okay.
So it's tails like a dog's tail, Tails. And yeah, we're making beautiful, sustainable jute toys now and giving 10% of the sales back to the Australian Wildlife Conservancy. So they raise money to protect Australian native wildlife habitats. So that brand again has really grown just kind of organically into this beautiful, sustainable give back brand, which also represents Australian Indigenous culture and art. And yeah, it's pretty unique.
You seem to have a lot of really good ideas.
Yeah. I suppose it helps coming from a creative background. I used to come up with TV concepts, and that was kind of the job that I did before this. So I'm an ideas person. I suppose it comes easily to me. So
well, I mean, but how cool now that you're just creating products and an entire brand dedicated to giving back so much to your community and just your country as a whole. That's got to feel pretty empowering to know that you literally went from being, this is such an incredible story to me, because you went from being a TV producer who's just a dog mom who saw a need, who now has 2 lines of dog products, one of which is completely giving back to and highlighting the Aborigine people. And I mean, their plight and the dogs there and the wildlife fund. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. What an amazing story, an amazing journey. What for you, because I know that Outback Tails has they're one of the only eco stamped. Can you break that down for us?
So we are a member of the Pet Sustainability Coalition that's there in the US, which is, I'm really proud of that. The brand's still growing in America. I think we've got a lot of the products into independent retailers in places like Colorado. It's like New York, Los Angeles. We don't have a website there yet, but we are selling with international shipping. So we get quite a lot of orders there from the US, and it's also available on Amazon, which is exciting, from December last year. So yeah, I'm really proud of that Pet Sustainability Coalition alignment, and I think what they do is really fantastic. I don't know if you know much about the coalition. But they kind of support brands to try and be, their best sustainable selves by offering, packaging solutions that are made from recycled packaging. They're always there to help you with, marketing ideas, and at trade shows, they give you big stickers to put on the floor to say that you're a member of the coalition, and it just attracts a different type of retailer, I suppose. And yeah, they're really amazing association to be working with.
So basically what you're explaining to us is you're making an impact not only at a local level, but on a global level as well. Because when we talk about, eco-friendly and pet sustainability, these toys and these beds that are in this line are not only eco-friendly and organic in the way that they're made, because they're made of jute, so they're very eco-friendly, but everything from your tags to your packaging is conscious. It's making an effort to try to change the way we even purchase and receive purchases as dog parents, because I buy a lot of dog products I mean, yes, right? As a dog mom and a dog professional. And like the packaging isn't always fantastic. There's a lot of plastic hooks, plastic bags,
Mhm.
and so I think it's so interesting that you're really taking a stand with your product and saying like, no, I want this to be organic for my animal safety
Mhm.
and for the planet's safety. I mean, what really nudged you to make that push?
Look, it's just something that personally I'm really passionate about. I've got 3 young children. I've always been passionate about environmental causes and environmental awareness, sustainability. And with this brand, I really felt like I could do something to make a difference. And, it's been challenging trying to find suppliers that will make packaging, that's affordable out of recycled materials. But I've enjoyed that challenge. And I think once you overcome that, you're then creating relationships with these people that you can then use to grow your company. And it's been a real eye opener, but it's getting easier. I think more and more people are becoming aware of their purchasing choices, and I'm really noticing. The brand has got an enormous following with like the millennial market, and it's been exciting to watch it grow into what it is now. And I'm looking forward to bringing out more products and continuing to do that.
So can you guys help me understand? So there was a word you snuck in, Sylvia, and maybe I misunderstood it. It was an interesting word, jute. What like what is jute? And my bigger question is like, what's the difference between a quality pet product? Like other than, okay, so I'm just gonna totally be bluntly honest. Sometimes you walk into the dog store, not the dog store, the PetSmart or wherever you're going in to get your dog supplies, right? And there's 2 toys, and there's one that's pretty cheap, and there's one that's not as cheap. And without really knowing much of the difference and like holding it or anything like that, like what are some of the differences in qualities? My gut is that this word jute has something to do with that, but like let me know, like help me understand.
Well, everyone's got, I suppose, Sylvia, do you want to answer that question, being a consumer of lots of dog toys, or do you want me to answer it?
Well, how about we tackle it together? So let's talk about jute. Let's answer your first question. Yeah, jute is an organic material. So I guess it's kind of the difference between, if I'm a consumer, here's how I look at it. Yeah,
Mm.
like I can go to the store and I can buy my dog something that's made of something very chemically, and that's an option that I have.
Right, so some of them are
Or
just like plastic, rawhide,
okay,
fabrics, like there's all
yep.
these different things.
Sure. And like maybe it's a polyester fabric. It's
Mhm.
not even like a cotton, right? So jute is like an organic fabric. And a lot of the Outback Tails toys are made from like jute. And then I think one of them is like almost like a suede material. So that's my puppy plays with that toy and makes me very happy because I'm like, this is organic material. So it's kind of a matter of how you look at what you're going to be putting into your dog's body, because they're going to be eating it, they're going to be chewing on it, particles are going to be consumed. So jute is like an organic
It's,
product that you can feel safe.
yeah, it's actually a plant. So
Yeah.
it's a plant a bit like hemp. And it's just the leaves of it, and it's kind of like got a consistency of hay, but it's a lot more durable. So and it grows prolifically through Southeast Asia, so it's very sustainable. It doesn't take much water through the production process to actually make it into the finished product. So just overall, it's a really sustainable option to use. It's also, really tough. So the puppies that buy my products love chewing on it because it's got this kind of hay, strawy feel, but it doesn't come apart easily. And also
Just go in and out, in and out.
they keep mooring it, don't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, and they're dyed with vegetable colors as well. So like the yellow color in my kangaroo, which is actually made from natural wool, which has a recycled water bottle on the inside to make crunchy sounds, but that's colored with turmeric. So it's all completely natural, and you know that when your puppy or dog is chewing on it, there's nothing toxic or dangerous that they're going to ingest.
Okay, right there, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and answer the rest of Jason's question.
Love it.
Awesome.
Okay, so we just got done learning about Jute, which sounds super cool. But I'm still interested in, like, what I've found is I am so much more comfortable investing into something when I know about, like, my very first experience in this mindset was with shoes, right? I like the difference between spending $50 on a pair of shoes versus $200 on a pair of shoes was a much easier decision to make when I understood how shoes were put together and why they were put this way, why they're actually going to last longer. And I see this kind of similar with a lot of industry, dog toys and things like that. So, like, can you explain to me maybe a little bit of the difference between, quality toys versus cost effective cheap toys?
Yeah. Yes.
All you,
Any
Jess.
either
This
I'm
works.
like educate me. It's now it's Jason's raising his hand class time over here.
Yes. Okay. Well, look, I think a great mantra to go by is just like cheapest isn't always best. And I know people say, oh, but my dog's going to destroy it in 2 seconds. I'm not going to spend much money on, a dog toy that I know my dog's just going to chew up. The reason that the dog's probably destroying it in 2 seconds possibly could be because you paid $2 for it. And I think with those products, a lot of the time you just don't know what chemical compounds they're made up of. A lot of them are treated with, all sorts of chemicals and plastics and things that your dog probably shouldn't be ingesting. But look, I think either go for a toy that's a bit more expensive and really durable that is going to last.
And DOOG isn't expensive. Like, I'm not trying to imply like, hey, I went out there and DOOG is selling their toys for $100 a piece. That's not what it is at all.
No, not at all.
But it is fascinating as a consumer, the mindset as an uneducated consumer, when you go in and you're looking and there's $3 and $12. Like, that seems like such a huge difference when you're looking at it on the rack, when in reality, I mean, we're talking like $5, $7, $8 difference between something that is going to be just a throwaway toy that they're meant to destroy and something that's going to have longevity to it.
Exactly. And I think it's better for landfill too, to just, spend a little bit more money on a toy that's going to last them, a few months, and they'll get 3 months of enjoyment out of it rather than something that they're going to squeak and it's going to drive you crazy with loud squeaky sounds for 24 hours and then going to end up in landfill. So, and there's some great toys out there on the market these days that are really good quality. You do pay a little bit more, but, it's worth it.
You got anything to add to that, Miss Sylvia? I felt like
I think that Jessica's answer was just so on point right there. I mean, for me as a consumer, when I'm looking at buying a product for my dogs, like, quality does matter. And I have brands that I trust because I know that they make, quality type of product. And, this is one of the reasons why I just, when Jessica first came out with Outback Tails, it was so exciting to me because it takes such a stance, like an actual stance on durability, sustainability. Jessica, you're talking about the landfill. It's like, if this Jute toy hits the landfill, it's going to biodegrade.
Well, how many products a year are you guys selling right now, roughly?
Gosh, that's a hard question. I actually, it depends on the year.
Whoops.
Really.
Why didn't you have all these numbers ready for us? No, I'm just kidding.
Look, it depends. As I said, 2020 was our best year ever. It was amazing. We went from being in a really scary position during COVID, thinking, oh my gosh, the sales have all dried up, all the retailers have closed, to it ending up being our best year ever. And I think it's just because everyone was out walking their dog and it was the one thing they were allowed to do for their daily exercise. So 2021 was huge, absolutely huge for us. I couldn't tell you exactly how many toys we sold, but our business has grown by it's like 3 times in 12 months.
That's amazing.
What would you say is your best selling? So we know it's your best selling DOOG product. Yeah, I think is it still the walkie belt or the bag?
You know what? It's probably in the USA, our best selling product would be the sticks. Now followed very closely by our collars and leads, and then still the dog walking gear. Yeah, it's still 13 years strong. There's a lot of people who have launched dog walking belts. We were the kind of original.
Yeah. actually, because just hearing you say like 5 years ago is when they became available.
Yeah.
I became a dog walker in 2014 and I could not find a quality belt. I would import them from Australia and the shipping cost me almost as much as the belt back then. But I mean, I would have this belt would last me 3 years. And I was a dog walker, literally wearing it 9 hours a day and sometimes hooking 10 dogs onto the carabiners. And that thing still lasted me 3 years. Like, so, for me, it's like it was worth it because the quality's there. You know what I mean? And I think,
Well,
go ahead, Jason.
and I guess that's like, so I wasn't even looking at so much a specific, I was trying to add wow factor to the impact that can make of throwaway toys that are getting put into the landfill and into our trash, that if you like buying the cost effective ones, you may go through 12 in a year versus the one that doesn't end up in a landfill because it lasts a year or two, or depending on the kind of dog that you have. Like, and that can, like, it can add up, as just a single brand and the impact that you guys are making. If you're selling, 10, 20,000 items a year that are not going into landfills, and they're still like, there's just a
Or
lot of
going
benefits
in and biodegrading,
right.
Yeah, that's
because
so
I think
true.
the sticks are made of recycled material too, aren't they?
Yeah, they're made of recycled rubber tires. So, they are rubber material, but it's recycled rubber, which makes us happy.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
can you
rubber, I think,
hold
is one
up
of the hardest.
your
Oh,
Hulk
should
stick
I?
again real quick? Yeah. You got that during one of the breaks, and it was
Yeah. So we went from doing a regular family of sticks to then going, hey, let's make some
They're
superhero sticks.
superheroes. Look at those abs, though. Can we talk about that?
sweet.
Like, this guy is ripped. I mean, he's
And that's that's
seriously
solid, right?
muscular.
That's not like a
It's
hollow
solid.
toy that just
Yeah. I
punctures and
mean,
falls apart.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's good for fetching. I mean, my puppy, she's been mouthing. I have a 3-month-old puppy who mouths on it because the texture just feels good for her. So after she brings it back, she's like, "Ah, ah, ah." And I mean, this thing is durable. I've had this for a long time. Many dogs have played with this particular stick,
I love
holding him
that.
by his head.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, you need to watch the video. For those of you listening right now on a podcast, we should, there should be an image. I'll get a picture of it.
It'll be
All
on
right.
Facebook. Yeah,
It'll be
we'll
on
get it up there.
Facebook. You'll see it. You'll
So
see
I've
it.
got, like, because I think we're getting close to our
We're close.
Okay, all right. Let me hop in here, because maybe there's some traction to this or not. But it's always fascinating, at least to many of our American friends over here. You've used a couple words that are like, I've finally figured it out through conversation. Like, there was one for a stroller. What do you guys
Oh,
call
pram.
a pram? There it is. Are there any like dog community related words that might be different?
Oh, wow. Gosh, Sylvia, you've told me many
Because you guys
times.
have like,
Well,
like
she
water
always
fountains
says-
or bubblers and like, and everything's a pop. Like, you guys like it, like, right?
I mean,
And-
sometimes she'll be talking to me about a product and I'm like, and then by deductive reasoning, I figure it out. Like Frisbee, she exclusively says disc. I mean, luckily I just know discs because in the training world we call it
Yep.
discs because it's very like universal. But I think it's with the dog products, it's almost the difference between like we use inches and the whole rest of the world uses the metric system
yeah.
and we don't. And so, like she keeps saying leads, like in the training world, because it's a global universe, it is a lead, but here we call them leashes.
right. Yep.
It's leashes.
Yeah. And the reason I don't say Frisbee is because it's actually a trademarked word by another company.
Oh, that's true.
Really?
Yeah. The
Oh,
Frisbee is
yeah.
the name of a throwing thing. Yeah.
Of a throwing thing. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not
whatever.
allowed to call it a Frisbee, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, then your discs are fabulous.
Yeah.
But I mean, now at this point, you guys are making all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, Outback Tails makes bowls and really gorgeous beds, like amazing, like, and covers for their
Mhm.
beds. Talk about like sustainability. You could literally buy one bed and just buy covers. And the covers are just this really great, cotton material. I mean, everything that you've done, I think is so amazing. And we're so happy to have had you on the show today to share with us how you're impacting dog moms and dog dads everywhere, getting us out there with our dogs, with your outdoor gear. And now you're literally impacting your local and global community in such an amazing way. So
Aw.
thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us and chat with our listeners today. We do have a very important way in which we close every show.
Mhm.
Jason.
I'm ready. I'm ready. And
Okay.
I'm going to do better than last week's. Like last
Oh,
week's, I felt
boy.
like I let you down a little bit. There was some confusion. We got it all worked out, but so
Hold on to your hats, Jess.
yeah. So, but today's a little bit better. I'm going to try and nail it. So this is our doggish dad joke. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay.
We're ready.
Where did the dog leave his car?
Where did the dog leave his car? I don't know. Where did the dog leave his car?
In the barking lot.
My kids are going to love that one. I'm writing that down.
She's taking notes. We did it. Well done, Jason. Hashtag dog dad joke.
Got to keep it going.
This time. Awesome. Well, Jess, this was so fun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Jessica.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll talk to you
have
again
you back
soon.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll get Jamie on too, and he could clarify if his hand went through the bag or not.
Yeah.
I'm sure he remembers.
Yeah,
if
I'm
he
sure
put his
it
hand in.
I'm sure it did.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Weird. Why don't we thank everybody that has joined us on this podcast today, including you, Sylvia, and obviously, of course, Jessica. I'm trying to keep my attitude up and high and exciting for my outro here because my wife told me I need to be more excitable. Anyways, obviously, all of DOOG's products and their website, both of their websites will be linked in the description down below. So make sure to give them a follow. Make sure to hit the subscribe on our podcast information. Make sure to go over to Instagram and follow us there and all those kind of things. And
we were just in talks with Jessica about a potential DOOG giveaway. What?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna have some cool stuff there too. And as always, if there's a topic, personality, or an event that you want us to discuss on the show, let us know. Send us a message. So
be sure to check us all out at Forever USA on Instagram, at Dog Up in This Bitch on Instagram, and of course at DOOG USA on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. Ta-ta for now.
Crushed it. Talk to you guys later.